Happy Friday, Notre Dame fans. It's February 26, 2021. I'm Patrick Engel, joined by blueandgold.com recruiting insider Mike Singer. Let's catch up on all the Notre Dame related recruiting news for the week that was. And the biggest item, Notre Dame sending out its fourth quarterback offer of the 2022 class, Medina, Ohio, Drew Allar. Mike, what should we know about this offer?
A notable offer, Patrick. This is Notre Dame's fourth QB offer in the 2022 class. Of course, you had Steve Angeli and Gavin Wimsatt last August. Ty Simpson from Tennessee just last month. But he's announcing his commitment actually today, and we're not expecting it to be Notre Dame's, likely Alabama or Clemson. So Notre Dame expanding the board again. Drew Allar, a guy from Ohio that just outside of Cleveland that Notre Dame fans have really been excited about for quite some time. Been reporting that the Irish have been in contact for about a month with Allar. So ranked as a 5.63 star. This is someone that I expect to shoot up the Rivals rankings at some point. Just remember, folks, these rankings are a marathon. It's not a sprint. So fine with where he's at right now if he does get bumped up eventually, because this kid is an absolute baller. His film is so much fun to watch, and his quarterback coach tweets out a lot of clips of their training. So we're gonna watch this. I mean, the throwing motion is just so fluid. A little bit of sidearm action, but the footwork, the velocity on his throws. The size, he's a good 6'5". He's listed at 220, Patrick, but I'm told he's closer to 230 now. So the velocity on the ball, the quick release, love the footwork, clearly coached at a high level. It's a big offer for Notre Dame. This is a kid who's been on campus before. He visited, I believe, in the fall of 2019 for a game, had no offers at that point. And then came back on campus February 1st, 2020, the last time the Fighting Irish was able to have recruits on campus because of this dead period that's been going on for such a long time. So someone that's familiar with Notre Dame, and I just really love watching this kid throw the football. He's got, some of this, like this quarterback coach, they train for game scenarios. You have to throw on the run and throw off platforms. That's a lot of what Drew Allar works on with his private quarterback coach. And Patrick, before we move on from talking about Drew as a football player, I tweeted this out yesterday. This has the same energy. Okay, look at that off-platform throw. Now watch this one. I'm not saying that Drew Allar is Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, same energy.
Yeah, that's a quite a bold, I don't want to say comparison there, but association. I mean, but if you think in college, you definitely see shades of Zach Wilson with the comfort of throwing off platform. So an interesting offer for Notre Dame fans to watch here as 2022 QB recruiting continues to go forward here. Meanwhile, on defense, Mike, you put in a new FutureCast pick for Notre Dame. Tell us who it is and what we should know about this latest pick.
Nikai Martinez from the Orlando, Florida area. This is someone who Notre Dame's been involved with for quite some time. He had a multi-day visit at Notre Dame back in November 2019 for the Virginia Tech game, and then stayed the day afterwards to get a better look on campus. Notre Dame didn't offer him until September 1st of 2020, but he had been in contact with the coaching staff, and since the Irish offered, Mike Mickens has been in really good contact. Marcus Freeman comes in, things ramp up even more. It's been a Florida Clemson Notre Dame battle for quite some time, and from what I'm gathering, Notre Dame's pushing the hardest here, and I'm liking Notre Dame to win the recruitment. He's been on campus, which is key, and I think that was his first time seeing snow, and he's still interested in Notre Dame, so clearly that didn't scare him off. A very solid cornerback prospect as well. A little on the shorter side. He's listed at 5'10", so he's probably about 5'9", but he would fit the nickel role very well. I think you can throw him out in the field as well. His just instincts and natural ability as a cornerback is why he's ranked as inside the Rivals 250, and it's a 4-star prospect per Rival. So I think Notre Dame has a very good shot to land Nakai Martinez. Sources on the Irish side of things have expressed that to me as well. So we talk about all the time, Patrick, Notre Dame needs to get better on the edges, and they don't get a lot of these rivals 250 corners. Nakai Martinez would be a good start there.
One of Notre Dame's 2022 defensive commits kicked off his spring season earlier this week. Aiden Gobire, the three-star defensive end out of Virginia, playing in a game for the first time since fall of 2019. Mike, what did you think?
Wow, yeah, he looked really good. We're going to pop it on. So this 25-0 win for Chantilly, and here he is right in this middle linebacker. So he's going to come and blitz here. And when you watch his sophomore tape, he's just kind of this tall, lanky kid who's just kind of rushing off with his length. But now, I mean, look at this monstrosity. He's put on about 40 pounds, and we liked his sophomore tape. But I mean, now he's got the size and he still has that athleticism to chase down an athletic quarterback. I'm going to pause it here in a second. I mean, look at this. I mean, he's that's a dude right there. I don't want to throw like he's got like Joey Bosa potential, but like you just kind of see where Notre Dame loves this raw athleticism. Here he is now at the top of the screen on run defense. Patrick, he's a high 3-star already. And like you mentioned, he hadn't played in a game since November of 2019. Here he is getting another sack. I feel like he's got very high 4-star into the top 200, maybe 150 potential. All eyes are going to be on him during this spring season. There's not many teams playing spring ball. So with him, being a Notre Dame commit in the DMV, all eyes are going to be on him. Also expecting him to go to the Under Armour Baltimore camp later this spring, which will have, I will be there. Rivals guys will be there as well. So we will be able to see him and really get a good evaluation of what he is at this point.
Speaking of recruiting bumps, one of Notre Dame's earlier 2022 commits got the bump up from 3-star to a 4-star prospect, and that's Nolan Ziegler, linebacker commit out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mike, was this something you expected, and what do you think of that decision?
Well, expected is an interesting word because I never say to expect bumps when it comes to recruiting, because then you just kind of set yourself up for letdown. But I mean, look, this dude had a very good junior season. Junior stats here: 120 tackles, 6 forced fumbles, and intercepted a pass in just 9 games. And then in that, and he didn't play a ton of receiver during his junior season, but during the state title game, they put him at receiver and had a couple of touchdown receptions as well of 12 and 35 yards. I mean, Catholic Central was just pretty much routing teams throughout the season, so they didn't really need him on offense. But I mean, no matter where he's at on the field, he's a baller, and that's why he's listed as an athlete. He was ranked as the number 30 athlete in the country, bumped up 10 spots to number 20, and was bumped up from that high 3-star to the low 4-star. So very well deserved, in my opinion, for Nolan Ziegler, a guy that is so versatile. And Notre Dame fans, if you don't know him, just remember the name. It's hard to forget. When he gets to South Bend and he starts to get on the field, he's going to be a fan favorite. He bleeds blue and gold, has strong bloodlines that go back decades with Notre Dame. He's a great player, but off the field, you're going to love him even more. That's this week's recruiting wrap. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to go to blueandgold.com for all of the Notre Dame football recruiting coverage. If you like what we're doing on our YouTube page, go to blueandgold.com. You get all of this information and so much more. Use the promo code Irish60 to get our premium coverage for 2 months free.